Start recording. We live?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's working. The mic is registering. It's just that there's no desktop audio.
Gotcha.
And also close YouTube.
Alright. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Matt here, and I am back with a different setup today and a different video concept. So, a friend of mine is trying to introduce me to this Political Compass website. Apparently, it tells you where you lie on the political compass. So, without further ado, and without me making this intro too terribly long, I'm just gonna hop right in. 6 pages, just a few propositions to start with, concerning no less how you see the country and the world. Okay, question one. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. You know, I actually agree with that. Not strongly agree, but I agree with that. I'd always support my country, whether it was right or wrong. I'm an American born and raised. I'll always support my country. No one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. I disagree with that. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. I don't really know how to feel about that one, but I'm going to just say disagree. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. There have been our moments with that, so I'll agree. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I'll slightly disagree with that one.
If you need me to explain anything, just let me know.
I got you. Oh, by the way, guys, this is my friend Ryan in the background. Say hi, Ryan.
Hi.
I don't know if y'all could hear him, but yeah, he's there. People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. Oh, man. Yeah, unfortunately. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. I disagree.
And this one's about the economy.
Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. Okay, I'm actually not too familiar with this one. Could you try to explain what this is really?
And it's basically from what I've read when I took it. It basically just says that since corporations can't be trusted to do stuff to help the people, they need to, or basically to protect the environment, that they require regulation to keep them in line.
Mm-hmm.
And if you agree, then you believe that there should be regulation, and if you disagree, you believe that there shouldn't be any regulation.
See, I wish there was a option where it's like right in the middle, like not disagreeing, not agreeing, but like right in the middle, you know? Because honestly, without that fifth option, it kind of makes this more difficult.
Yeah, some of these are really difficult to decide between.
I'm gonna agree, but only to an extent. Okay, so quote, from each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea.
I had to do some research on this one. This is a communistic ideal, basically saying it's basically the general idea that everything should be evenly distributed.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you disagree, then you don't believe that this is a good that quote's a good idea, and if you agree, you think it's a good idea.
You know, I mean, again, with these kind of questions, I wish there was that fifth option. Man, I'm gonna disagree to an extent. Also, comment section, don't hate me for any of the answers that I give. It's just from my personal opinion and from what I understand. Okay, it's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled brand consumer product. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a sad reflection. I mean, yeah, there are people that just litter plastic bottles, like they leave them in the ocean, which I find that ridiculous. But I, I'm disagreeing with this statement. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. I agree. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. I mean, I, I mean, I understand the question, but don't really know what to pick. And by the way, if you've noticed, I haven't picked like strongly disagree or strongly agree to any of these questions yet. Um, oh God, I'm. g- I'll agree to an extent. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. Okay, so
It's basic protectionism is sometimes necessary to trade it. Necessary in trade basically is just, do you believe that tariffs need to be a thing?
Oh, strongly agree. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. I disagree. The rich are too highly taxed. I agree to an extent. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. I agree. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. I agree. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. I disagree. The freer the market, the freer the people. I agree. Um, Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Ooh.
Yeah, this is one of those really controversial topics.
Yeah, like I honestly don't want any of my comment section like fucking tearing me to shreds when it comes to this shit.
Pretty much no matter what option you pick, the comment section is gonna tear you to shreds because everybody thinks differently.
I'm gonna get I'm oh
I, I personally had to disagree on that one. I believe that it should be legal.
I also disagree. All authority should be questioned. I agree. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. What the fuck does that mean?
Basically means let's say that I go out and I stab a guy to death with like a wooden plank or something. It's basically saying that I should die in that same manner. It's basically saying that if you kill someone in a certain manner, then you should die in that same manner.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
This is also mentioned in that quote was also mentioned in the Bible.
Okay, I'm gonna agree, but only to a certain extent. Like, I'm not strongly agreeing. I'm not like disagreeing, but I'll agree to a certain extent. You know, like I don't know. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Ooh, um, you know what? I'll disagree. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory.
Basically meaning that schools should not make classroom attendance a requirement. I personally had to disagree. I feel like it should be a requirement, despite how much I hate school, but that's me.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll disagree with that as well. All people have their rights, but it's better for us all. The different sorts of people should be kept to their own kind. Oh, hell no. No, 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 no. I should strongly disagree. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. I mean, okay, from my personal experience, I always hated getting spanked. You know, it was one of the worst feelings growing up. But I don't. I mean, there are those bad parents, and then there are those good parents, but there's also those parents like that are right in the middle. I'm honestly not sure about that. I'm gonna. I'll agree to an extent. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Oh, agree. 100%. I keep secrets from my parents sometimes. So, I mean, it's nothing really
It's
new.
a natural thing.
Exactly. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. I mean, it depends on the marijuana. Like, if it's recreational marijuana, then maybe. But if it's like medical marijuana, then there's really nothing you can do about it. I mean, if it specifically said medical marijuana, I would agree. But because it just says marijuana, I'm not entirely sure. Like, this is another one of those questions where a fifth option would be really, really fucking useful.
And they don't really define personal use.
I mean, I can see where they're going with personal use, so I'm actually going to disagree.
Okay.
I know a lot of the comment section is going to be tearing me to shreds after that, but hey, shit happens. I don't care. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. I agree, honestly. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed. Okay,
Yeah, this is
listen.
the one I was telling you about.
Listen. It doesn't matter who you are, like, if you have a disability or not. I can speak from personal experience that I have high functioning autism. I'm not afraid to say that. But, you know, I find this question really offending at times. I just, I don't know who decided to think that, but this is one of those questions where I'm strongly disagreeing. I strongly disagree on that.
Yeah, same.
The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. Absolutely. See, for every action that you commit, there's always going to be a consequence, no matter what type of action it is. If it's a good consequence, good. If you produce a bad action, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. There are no savage and civilized people. There are only different cultures.
I was really on the fence with that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with this one too. Like, I don't, like again, this is one of those questions where there should be a fifth option. Like, I'm neutral, but I'll agree only to an extent. Like, if there was that fifth option, I'd be picking the fifth option, but there's not. So, agreeing to an extent. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. You should support others no matter what no matter what's going on. Personally, when you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Oh, agree. You always have to think positive for whatever happens. You got to think positively. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. I disagree. I honestly disagree. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. I agree. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. I disagree to an extent. Like, if it's certain content, then yeah, you should keep it private. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Terrorism is one of the biggest problems we have in American society today. I said one of, not the worst problem, but one of.
Me and one of my friends spent a good about 10, 15 minutes debating this question before we finally answered it.
What did you end up saying?
I personally went with disagree, but barely, and he went with agree.
But barely.
Yeah.
See, again, this is another one of those questions where a fifth option would be nice. But I'm gonna say disagree, but barely. Like you, like counterterrorism really isn't one of the biggest problems we have, but it has caused a lot of our problems in the past. A significant advantage of a one party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. Okay, I'm not too deep into politics, so could you try to explain that one?
Oh yeah, this one was really hard for me to understand. My friend tried to explain it to me. From what I'm reading, it seems like it's basically stating that a one-party state, unlike a democracy where there's multiple different parties, has more advantages in that like the election of officials isn't delayed or doesn't take as long. I personally disagree with that. Even in a one-party system, you can still have those problems.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll disagree. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Oh, disagree. Everyone should be worried. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Okay, I understand with the death penalty. Like, I know certain states allow it, most states don't. But if it's for the most serious of crimes and the most dangerous of crimes, I will agree, but I'm not gonna answer right away. Ryan, what did you say for that one?
I personally agree,
Strongly.
but not too heavily.
Yeah.
Because on one side, like if it's a really seriously bad crime, then the death penalty seems very necessary. But I also feel like you shouldn't be. I feel like you shouldn't be ending a person's life just because of what they did. But I personally had to more agree with that because I feel like if it's a really serious crime, like you go on a killing spree of multiple people, like dozens of people, then the death penalty feels deserved.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I'll agree, but not too heavily. Like just because of your explanation. But other than that, let's continue on. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded.
This one basically says, like, do you believe that a dictatorship is a good way to run a country?
I'm gonna disagree, but not too heavily. I mean, I would strongly disagree, but I just don't believe that a dictatorship is always the best way to run a country. You know, um, abstract oh, abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. No. Any kind of art that you bring in, any kind of art that you make is considered art. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. I disagree. I can also speak from experience. I think really rehabilitation, like I'm not a drug addict, like I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not any of that, but I used to be very violent growing up. So rehabilitation for me personally is more important than any form of punishment, you know? So I disagree on that one, but not strongly disagree. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I agree, but barely. I agree, but barely. The person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is comparing two different career standpoints.
It's basically saying, like, do you hire up more, like, well-paying jobs? Are they more important than lower-paying jobs? Like, is a business person and a manufacturer more important than a writer and an artist?
Yeah. Okay.
And if you agree, you believe that business person and manufacturer are more important. But if you disagree, you think that they aren't more important.
Okay. So here's what my decision will be. I am going to disagree, but barely. I mean, yeah, business people and manufacturers do have their ability and their right to be as high as they want when it comes to like pay, but you can't just look at it from that standpoint. You also got to look at like say if a writer and an artist are like really passionate about what they're doing, like they want to go more for their passion rather than the pay. You know what I'm saying with that?
Mm-hmm.
So, and as an artist, kind of like a music artist, not like officially though. Like as a performer, I can relate. Like I go more for like yeah, it's nice to have a good pay, but it's also nice to go after your what you're like passionate about. So I disagree but barely on that. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. I agree, but to an extent. Like, yeah, mothers can always like find a job other than like being a house taker and all that. But I agree, but barely on that. It's still record. Okay, we're good. So multinational companies are unethically, I can't fucking talk, exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. Ooh, I'm kind of confused on this one. Can you elaborate?
Um, I had a hard time understanding this one as well. My friend couldn't really explain it that well. From what we understand, it seems like it's basically saying that companies are basically just exploiting plants in other countries and just using them to their advantage. That's like the way that I understood it when I read it.
So what did you like pick for your answer, you know?
I was disagree personally.
Disagree? I mean, I kind of agree. To an extent, though. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Absolutely. Like, I strongly agree with this one. Like, yeah, if you have a heated argument with an individual or a company, like it's always nice to see that you can, step up to them maturely and making peace with them. I feel like We need more maturity and more like peace like throughout our society because that's what we're lacking right now.
I was actually personally on the complete opposite of that.
Really?
I would strongly disagree because I personally feel like there isn't a good enough reason to make peace with them. I feel like you should always be questioning them. That was personally me though.
Yeah, I mean I see where you're going with that. Astrology accurately explains many things. Yeah, I'm gonna agree, but I'm not gonna like strongly agree. I'm gonna agree though, but barely. You cannot be moral without being religious, or moral without being religious. I disagree. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. I just see again. A fifth option would be nice, but I don't know. What did you personally say on this one?
I actually don't remember. I think I was more towards disagree. I believe. I personally, to me, I felt like Social Security probably was a little more important, but barely. This is one of those questions where I felt like the fifth option would have been way more useful.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from experience right now. I'm running on Social Security money, so I guess it's kind of at an advantage with that. But again, I'll disagree, but barely. Some people are naturally unlucky.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not gonna strongly agree, but I'll agree because I know some pretty unlucky people. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. Yeah, it's another one of these fucking religious questions. I don't know. I'm not like completely religious or anything, but what do you think?
I personally was just disagree. I feel like it shouldn't. I feel like you shouldn't have to require a school to instill religious values that you believe in. I feel like the school is allowed to make that decision for themselves. If they want to, go for it. If they don't want to, it doesn't bother me.
That's
But
fair.
that's just my way of thinking because I'm not religious.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'll disagree. Not strongly disagree, but I'll disagree. Um,
Oh yeah, this last one's really funny.
oh boy. Okay. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. See, I mean, like, I disagree, but I'm not really sure what to really say much more on that. A same sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the. Oh, hell no.
Like,
Honestly, it doesn't even matter if you're in a same sex couple or a different sex couple.
so
Everyone should be allowed to adopt.
you actually got confused on this one, like one of my other friends did. Basically, if you disagree, then you believe that they should be excluded. But if you agree, you think that they shouldn't be because it's basically saying that if the same sex couple is in a stable, loving relationship, they shouldn't be excluded.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
should relationships should not be excluded. So it's basically saying that they shouldn't be excluded. Basically saying that they should not be. They should be allowed to adopt children.
So if you strong, yeah, I agree. Same as it doesn't matter if you're again. It doesn't matter if you're in a same sex relationship or different sex relationship. Everyone should be allowed to adopt. Remember, adopt, don't shop. Porno- pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. I don't know how to feel. I mean, again, this is another one of those questions where a fifth option would be nice. What did you say on this one?
I was agree. I feel like if you want to watch that kind of stuff, go for it. I'm not interested.
Yeah. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. Yeah, strongly agree. Like, if you want to tell someone about it, that's up to you, but personally, it should only be between the adults that are consenting. So I strongly agree with that one.
These last two, me and my friends spent a lot of time debating.
No one can feel naturally homosexual. Oh my god. Okay. I know a couple of gay people. I mean, never really asked to them too much about their sexuality. I mean, I respect their sexuality no matter what they are, but I feel like someone can feel naturally homosexual, but again, this is another one of those questions where a fifth option would be nice. So I'll agree, but barely.
So so with this one, if you,
Oh, wait a minute. No, I disagree.
yeah, I was about to say.
Again, but still, like, it'd be nice for a fifth option. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. Oh. That's a no-brainer for me. I've seen way too many news stories about rape and all that, and I mean, I know it's not going that far, but openness about sex is just really noticeable nowadays. So, that is the last question. Now, let's see where I stand.
And you have to scroll down quite a bit.
Okay.
Trust me, you're gonna have to scroll down a lot.
Authorization. Author.
So the top there is authoritarian, the bottom is libertarian, then left is more communist, and then right is, I believe, more fascist. I believe, but I don't remember. I know. Left is communist.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's yours.
Okay, so okay, so
You were more left than right, and you were more
bottom than top.
you're more libertarian than authoritarian.
Okay, all right. That was that I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. That was a really interesting quiz there. I wasn't.
Where I landed on that, my economic left/right was a negative 4.5, and my social libertarian/authoritarian was a negative 2.71.
Jesus.
So I'm far more left and far more libertarian.
Okay, but yeah, no. There you have it, guys. There is the political compass quiz. If you want to go check that out for yourselves, I'll have the link down below in the description. You don't have to take this quiz, but it was interesting. I'd recommend it. But again, up to you guys. I'm not gonna force you to do it. Shout out to Ryan, the guy that introduced me to this quiz. I'll leave his link to the channel, or I'll leave the link to his channel in the description. Go subscribe to him. He's trying to get 250 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like, hit subscribe, turn on all notifications, and leave a comment if you want me to show more political aspects of my videos. But until then, peace out, everybody.